Hello everybody, gonna continue with the series here. So time to do some true routing for day one. So in the last video I just talked about broom hopping real quick. So now we start here. So now with Mika, there's a lot of different ways to kind of get from point A to point B when we want to go dead straight here to talk to Gref. So the cool thing is that there's so many different ways to get from point A to point B that involve like easy, medium, and hard, or beginner, intermediate, and advanced strats. So we're just going to start with really basic. So when you're done talking to a leg, you're going to jump, get on your broom, you're going to dash, you want to get to this sign, dive into it a little bit, you get the refresh, dash, and then one more dash here, boom, and then we could talk to Gref. So that's one way that's like very straightforward, definitely mellow. So now if you wanted something that's a little bit more intense, what I do in my PB is you're able to get 4 dashes here. So 1, 2, 3, then 4 to the bush, 5 to the pipe, 6 to Gref. So 6 total, but 4 to the bush. And then the other thing now is that if you want to do intermediate, the great thing is that we could do some kind of like hybrid, like an in-between strategy here. So we come here, we can dash, 1 dash, go to the sign, dash, get a pipe dash here, pipe, and then platform dash. Cool. So it's one of those things where you could see where you could weave in different dashes however you want to kind of, as you get more comfortable, you keep weaving in more dashes. So now we're going to A, B to Gref here. And then as far as mashing, there's like a cadence. I always, you don't want to mash as fast as you can, but if you mash too slow, you're missing the fastest time you can move the text boxes. So I always say mash just short of as fast as you can. And then we're going to hit A, A, A. And then we're going to grab this here. And then we want to get to Gref, which is straight ahead here. So we'll grab this box. The more beginner-friendly strat is to go to the left of this tree, and we get some dashes in here. Boom, boom, cool. And then we can talk to Gref that way. And then the other way, which is definitely a little more tight and a little more direct and faster, is you grab this box, you go right in between the tree and the platform, and from here we do almost a straight line to Gref. So either way, and then we're moving along here. Gref. From Gref to Ovel. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so now we're going to A-B here. A-B, and then we're going to get a sandwich from him. From here, you kind of want to hold down. And so we're going to do, it's called a broom boing. So in this game, when you collide with objects, you kind of gain some height sometimes. So it's one of those things where you're going to hold down, get on your broom, dash, collide, gain height, and then one more dash into the water here. So I'll show that just one more time for everybody. Here, you could just hold down, get on your broom, dash, climb up. 1 dash, sometimes 2 dashes, depending on where you end up. And then you want to dash to get into Opic's boat. We're going to talk to him here next. Maybe. Sailor's lunch, all lettuce. All lettuce, all day. All right. And then you want to hit A here when you can to get rid of this tile. Shout out to Squabbles the fish here. So we're going to grab him next. You hit A. So now Squabbles the fish has kind of like RNG-ness or global timers of where he spawns. So wherever sometimes he spawns close, sometimes not. Either way, you want to grab him, do a couple dashes here. You want to get to the corner of this dock, and you get 2 dashes. Get off, get on, dash, boom. And then we're going to go to Ovel. And then again, if you, in the beginning, maybe not weave in all these dashes, you could just coast. That's totally fine. It'll still get you from point A to point B, and as you get more comfortable, you could weave in more dashes. So this next part, we're going to go from Ovel back to Gref, and there's this next sequence, how tight you want, or be like advanced versus beginner friendly you want to do, is how much walking you do in Mika. So if you walk all the way to here, you can get on your broom, dash, then you can come to this pot, dash, one more dash to Gref. And that's very mellow, very beginner friendly here, right? And then the less steps you take, the tighter it could get and more direct. So I'll show you here. So I am able to do about 2 steps. Get on your broom, see if I can get it. Dash, 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 dash. And like I said, how many dashes and how tight you want to make how much walking you want to do will determine how kind of forgiving the trick is. And then we go to Gref here. We A-B. We're going to do a box boing next, where we hit into these boxes to gain some pretty significant height. I'll show you guys in a second here. Hold on. This one is very, very forgiving. So, grab this box, and then roughly like a Mika away, if you get on your broom, hold forward, you get height, right? And then you can get over this building here. So I'll show you again. Even if you get kind of like a sour, like let's say we clip the side here, it usually still goes. See? Boom. And then from over the building, you're going to do 2 dashes. I'll show you here. So, grab the box, and then box boing, dash, dash, get off your broom, and then dash, and then one more dash on the umbrella. We could talk to Brahm here from behind his ice cream stand, which is awesome. And then Brahm. So now we're moving right along. So now we want to get to the twins to the left here. So, now, from here, get on your broom. You could dash. You can get 1 dash off the umbrella for a mellow strat. And then if you want to do 1 more dash, that's pretty reasonable for 3. And we'll talk to the twins here. And then I'm going to go back here. I just didn't want to melt the ice cream. And I'll show you other ways you can do it. Dr. Crabominable Esquire is the crab in the background. Let's see if we can see him. Hold on. We're going to see him for a second. That guy. Dr. Crabominable Esquire. Okay, so let's go back. So now, that was pretty basic with 3 dashes, right? You could definitely get more dashes in. I'll show you here. And it's much tighter. So now we start here. 1, 2. Get the refresh off the umbrella. 3, 4, 5. And we could talk to the twins that way. So that, and like I said, you can do any iteration in between. Each dash, like I said, saves roughly 1/3 of a second. So when you could weave it in, it's definitely, will save you time over the course of the whole run. So now we want to get to Gref, which is straight ahead this way. We're going to do a bush boing off the bush there. So let me just show the more beginner-friendly strat. Jump on your broom. We're going to go just sideways. We're going to just ignore the bush boing here. Dash here. See if we can get the refresh off the pot. And then 1 more dash here, and then 1 more off the roof. And then you'll be right by Gref over there. So that's one route. And then I'll show you with the boing off the bush. It's much more direct, and you can weave some dashes in too. So what I started doing in the beginning, when I first started doing this trick, jump, get on your broom, 1 dash, bounce, and then dive a little into this bush here, and then it should bounce you up, and you could dash over the top here. So that's one way to do it. And then the other way, the tightest way, I did that 1 dash strat for a very long time. So now you could actually get 2 in. Jump, dash, boom, boom. Dive a touch to get into the bush, boom. Over the top, refresh off the sign, dash, 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 last dash, dash. And then we talk to Gref here. And we have to deal with this cool mailbox here. So now, AB. And it's always 01, 02. So on this, I like using the cross for this. As far as the control, it's a little more direct. So you always start on 1, straight down, O, straight up, over 1, down, O, straight up 2. And that's how I like to do that. And then as far as day 1, that is the end of day 1. The next couple of it, I'm actually going to divide it into 2 videos because No Time to Talk is going to be 1 video, and then I'm actually going to do another video that shows the next sequence over time, just the movement. So No Time to Talk is the next glitch that gets us from day 1 to day 3, because we don't want to do day 2 in any percent. If it's like 8 minutes, 7 minutes. If we could skip it in any percent, we're about it. So I will see you guys in the next video.